That's a good question. Who was a better shortstop, Barry Larkin or Derek Jeter? I hadn't even really even thought about it until it got brought to my attention, and I had to go crunch up numbers and do testing on it because it's pretty compelling. It's not a clean sweep as you would think. Um, Looking at the statistical standpoints, Larkin had 12 gold gloves, Jeter had 14. But remember, Larkin had to play in the same era as Ozzie Smith, who the called the Wizard of Oz. So that's compelling. He won one MVP, but he played in the era with Barry Bonds. That's another thing to consider. And Jeter had a couple, came up in second place a few years, but he wasn't considered the best shortstop in the American League because guys like Nomar Garcia Perez, Alex Rodriguez, and Miguel Tejada, stat wise, you know. But Jeter was a great all time player. He's obviously more hits than Larkin, and overall. And of course, the biggest criteria between the two is the postseason. They both won the rings, but Jeter got five and he had more options and opportunities. And I think that's pretty much some of the things it comes down. But there is a compelling argument for Larkin that the same things that got Jeter put him being in the right place, right time. You can say the case that Larkin at bats overall totality, you can make a case for him. I had never really thought about it, but Barry Larkin is probably one of those guys that, unless you're a baseball historian or you follow it, he'd be underrated and underappreciated in a lot of ways because stat wise, he was a bad dude. He was one of those guys that was the truth. And one of those guys that you just couldn't really, you was like, you'd be hard pressed to like think about, who uh hang out with him, style wise, because it's pretty compelling case, to say the least. And I was like really amazed when I did some research on it to just study him because obviously sight unseen. I used to collect baseball cards, and I remember him very well. I remember when Larkin led Cincinnati against Oakland in the World Series in '90, and Barry Larkin was the truth. The cat could flat out play. He belonged with the greats of the greats on the big red machine, the peak and the prime of the Reds. He was that kind of dude. He's one of those kind of players that he's one of the greatest Cincinnati Red players ever. And it's just that his era he won with Cincinnati wasn't as romanticized. Obviously, when Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, George Foster, Tony Perez, Dave Concepcion, Severin, Ariel Soto, all that, Sparky Anderson when they were winning. So sometimes that gets kind of lost in the shuffle because it depends on when you come around. But if you know anything about Barry Larkin, he was a great player, very talented, um, left a lasting impact, and was a very impressive player. So got my attention, and I thought I would kind of like venture onto that and see what it was about. So yeah, it's a very good argument. Case can be made, and you can definitely say that. Yeah, you can definitely make a case who was the better of the two. Because it's not that far off. I mean, we can talk about Golden Gloves. We can talk about obviously Jeter got more rings and he was big in the close time. But we do think about baseball. You can still do statistical. And Jeter was great as he was. There were shortstops who got him in different areas. So it's a good argument though. But let me know who you take: Barry Larkin versus Derek Jeter. Who you got? Please like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another and share if you like and hit that membership because when you do requests like this come true, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.